And yes, this one is a bit provocative, and if someone's making eye contact with you in the gym, just stare hard. Make it weird. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Lisa. I'm a women's online fitness coach who's been helping women become their healthiest, happiest, and hottest selves for over a decade now. If you're not new here, thanks so much for coming back and hanging out. Today, we are going to be doing a glute-focused leg day. I'm feeling pretty pumped for it. I had some Trader Joe's apple cinnamon sourdough bread this morning as my pre-workout snack. And today, I want to talk about how to make fitness and health work for you and your life, because I think so many people think it has to be a specific way, it has to look a certain way, and you have to do it exactly how other people tell you. But that's not the real solution to being consistent on your fitness journey. You have to figure out what works for you. Otherwise, you're just fighting an uphill battle. So I'm gonna drink my pre-workout. We're gonna head inside and get this workout started. So cheers. We are starting with seated abductions to warm up the glutes. We're not going to go crazy heavy. We're just going to warm it all up. If you're lucky enough to have this machine at your gym, like, utilize it. This definitely helped me a lot when it came to glute growth, because they had this machine back in South Carolina at my last gym. And it is my absolute favorite abduction machine because you can adjust the pad so you can lean back further, which helps target your glutes. And it's just a really great machine. So we're gonna do about a set of 15 leaning back and then a set of 15 forward, which I'll show you. Kind of like I said in the intro, it's not a one size fits all when it comes to fitness. So, I've listened to all the gurus and the influencers about how to grow your glutes, and a lot of the stuff that they recommended just didn't work for me. But over time, I've really learned kind of what works best for me in regards to my glute growth. And so those are the exercises I stick to, which I'll show you today. I'm not a huge hip thrust girl. Unless there's a hip thrust machine, I won't set up barbell hip thrust. I hate doing that, or in the Smith machine. I'm just not a fan. But for me, like heavy RDLs, Bulgarians, abductions, and doing lots and lots of sets, heavy, is what ultimately has helped my glute growth the most. So we're going to superset this with a little band exercise I like to do that kind of helps loosen things up. If you struggle with tight hamstrings, it's phenomenal. So what you're going to do for this is you're going to put your foot in a band. You're going to like attach the band to something, and you're going to basically step into it, have the band right behind your knee or right above your knee in the back. Get a nice tight stretch on the band. You're going to go up on your tippy toe and then back down. And you'd be amazed how quickly the tightness goes away from doing this. Or if you struggle with knee stability or knee pain, this is a really, really good one to incorporate. And it's just a nice little warm-up mobility. This shouldn't be crazy hard, but you need to stretch against the band. There's a lot of things that you can do using resistance bands to help your mobility in your form, and you get stronger during certain movements. So if you notice when you're squatting, your knees are collapsing, do things like clamshells and more abductions and adductions. It's usually weak inner thighs, weak glutes, things like that. Another set of 15 and 15. I'm going to keep the weight where it's at. And if you sit a lot for your job, I definitely recommend warming up your glutes before a leg day, because when you sit a lot, it's hard to activate or turn on your glutes. So doing abductions, clamshells, things like that will kind of fire them up and help you engage them a lot more during squats and RDLs and Bulgarians and stuff like that. If you train with intention and purpose, if you really focus on what's called the mind-muscle connection, where you really think about what muscle you're trying to activate, you're going to see much better results than simply just going through the movements and not really paying attention. And yes, this one is a bit provocative. And if someone's making eye contact with you in the gym, just stare hard. Make it weird. That's what I do. I'm not ashamed. I just want to make them uncomfortable if they have a staring problem. All right, we got barbell RDLs, which you guys know are some of my favorite. I'm feeling like my butt looks really good today. I'm like, did I eat something different? I don't know what happened, but it's popping. So, like always, we're gonna warm up with just the bar, feet shoulder distance apart, shoulders down and back. Lean it forward, knees are soft. Drive up through your glutes. You want to grow a dump truck, RDLs, and the way to do it. One thing with these two, make sure you tuck your chin because that's making your back nice and aligned. Because if you go down and you look up, now my back is out of alignment and it's hard to keep my shoulders down and back. Whereas if you keep your chin tucked, it's a lot easier. All right, we're just gonna toss some 45s on there because I don't think we need to warm up with anything else. It's feeling good today. Again, a lot of this is about figuring out what works for you. So I personally like to start RDLs with the bar up. Some people start them from the floor. I just like them higher because I don't want to exert so much energy just simply bringing the barbell off the floor. I'd rather conserve that so I can lift heavier. So that's just how I like it because I like to start at the top. But if you don't have a rack that has like the safety bars, you can start on the floor from a regular deadlift. I prefer barbell. Dumbbell's okay. It's not my favorite. I just like barbell better. I feel like I can gauge my glutes more. And I really like cable RDLs, which I can show you those later if it's not busy over there. But cable RDLs allow me to extend back more, which then engages more of like my glutes. So, you know, there's 100 ways to do everything. I also do like alternate grip where I have one under and one over. I've just done that for years. It's more comfortable for me. Some people like overs. I guess you could do these under. I wouldn't advise it, but I just like under over. We're going to add some 10s. And this is going to be our working weight for today. So we're going to shoot for 3 sets of like 5-ish. So if you feel like you're not getting stronger with exercises, you need to do what's called progressive overload, which is going up in weight progressively, hence the word progressive overload, but going up in weight every time you can. So maybe it's not every week, but you challenge yourself, you push yourself. You don't stay at, 95-pound RDLs for like 2 years. Like add a 2.5 on each side, add a 5, see where you can get. And it's okay to fail. That's part of this whole process. Like there's times where when I was first starting to get to 155 on RDLs, I think I could do 1 or 2 and then I'd have to drop the weight. And like over time you get stronger, but that's how you build muscle. That's how you get stronger is progressive overload. You have to challenge your muscles. So that can be done, like I said, through going up in weight. That can be done through increasing sets and reps. Can be done by decreasing rest time in between sets. There's lots of ways to do it, but don't do the same routine for like a year. But then also don't come into the gym and do something different every time you come in. You want to stick to one routine for about 6 to 8 weeks, challenging yourself to go up in weight during those 6 to 8 weeks, and then you can change it up. Alrighty, let's do this. Shoulders down and back. Pretend like you're squeezing oranges. Keep the bar close to your body. That didn't feel too bad, to be honest with you. We got 5 solid reps. Felt good. One thing too with RDLs is it's not about how low you go, okay? Because you're going to get to a point where you can't go any lower and then your spine is going to start to round and that's what we don't want. So it's about pushing your glutes back and coming forward, but stopping when you feel that pull on your hamstrings. One good visual or cue for RDLs is imagine you have like a bucket of water tied right here in front of your pelvis. And as you're doing the hinge movement, you're thinking about dumping the water out of the pail. So it's not like a low, it's about shutting a door behind you and water being poured out of the pail. So use that as a cue if you're really struggling with the hip hinge movement. We've got hip thrusts next, but to be honest, I don't like this hip thrust machine, but all the other ones are taken. But we're just gonna go with it. So with this hip thrust, you're gonna lower I find if I do this, like I try to lower the pad while my knees are bent, I can't get the pad low enough. So this one just is annoying to get into. And I bet this is a great angle for you guys, huh? Another thing that you have to figure out in regards to what works for you and not following everybody else is with your eating. For instance, some people get nauseous eating breakfast. Some don't. I'm usually hungry within like 30 minutes of waking up. I love having a big breakfast and it works really well for me. Whereas I've got a client who she can't really eat much in the morning. She gets nauseous, or at least she used to. She would get nauseous. We started small with an RX bar. So RX bars have protein, but it's more of like a carb energy sort of vibe bar. So what we did was we started with that in the mornings, and she was able to keep it down, didn't feel nauseous, because the issue was she wasn't eating in the morning. So she was then, just kind of catching up on calories all day long because she couldn't eat enough. Now she's at a point where she can eat in the morning and she's not getting nauseous. I think we kind of trained her body to get used to that, which I think is really cool. I personally am not a big fan of intermittent fasting, but for some people it works. There are studies out there that show for women it can like interfere with hormones, but some people have good experiences with it, so it is what it is. But you got to figure out what works for you, your body, your lifestyle. Okay, we're gonna go up in weight again. But speaking of breakfast, I don't know. Oh no, I got something on my shirt. Hopefully that doesn't stain it. Oh, it just looks like dust. Speaking of breakfast, I don't know if I'm the only person that feels this way, but like, I currently, all I smell is breakfast sausage. When I was leaving for the gym, my boyfriend was cooking breakfast sausage, and I hate smelling like food. Like, it is one of my biggest icks, and like, I get really self-conscious about it. That's why I don't like cooking bacon in my house, because then my whole house smells like bacon, my hair smells like bacon, everything smells like bacon. So like, it's one of my biggest things, and I feel like I smell like breakfast sausage right now, and I'm feeling really self-conscious about it. I also have like a very strong sense of smell. Like, I'm very sensitive to smells. So like, if someone has on really strong perfume or cologne, it really bugs me. So this is the new machine. It's called the Power Runner, and it is intimidating as hell. Like, when you look at it, it's like a torture device, but it really does work the booty good. So let me show you how to do it. It took me a few tries to figure it out. So your feet go on here, and then you're gonna lower with this guy. So you're gonna put your foot on here. You basically want the pads like all the way down. So you're gonna bring it down. I'm little, so I bring it all the way down. And then you're gonna drive through. So it's like a fancy glute kickback mixed with a leg press sort of vibe. But it burns like a motherfucker. This is our warm-up set. We'll add more weight next set. One tip with stuff like this or with leg presses, don't extend your leg all the way. So don't lock out your knee. That's gonna end up hurting you. So drive through the heel, squeeze your booty cheek, bring it in. And then we're gonna swap. It's like awkward to swap legs because you're so close. Unless I'm doing it wrong, but who knows, I could be. I've been doing this a long time, but machines are getting fancier and fancier. And so it's all a learning curve, right? Whew, my legs are burning. Shit. I'm going to show you guys from the side this time so you can see what it looks like. My legs are on fire. I might regret this tomorrow. I don't even know if you can see me. My head might be cut off right now. But, oh, put your foot up. come down, lock it in, drive, squeeze the booty cheek, drive through the heel. I keep looking that way because there's a mirror. One thing people don't understand is, like, when you're newer to lifting, or if you don't really lift much, you look in the mirror to check your form. Yeah, you're also checking yourself out, because I know my legs look good right now, but mostly to check my form. So if anyone's judging you for looking in the mirror, tell them to fuck off. Oh God, it hurts. Okay, we gotta do the other side now. Balance everything out. We can't have one butt cheek bigger than the other. I mean, you could, but you might get some weird looks. All right, so we're gonna drive through that heel. Ooh, squeeze. I just had a gym member tell me I'm very short and very pretty. You need an ego boost. Become friends with like the older guys in the gym. They'll compliment the hell out of you, but honestly, not in a creepy way. I have had some run-ins with creeps, but most of the time they're pretty nice and genuine, and they're married, so they're like not really like trying to hit on you. They're just being friendly. We're gonna do like 2 more sets each side, and then we'll probably do some cable RDL, since I said I'd show you guys how to do those. The cables are pretty busy right now, but maybe when I'm done with this, they'll be opened up a bit. All right, well, the gym is popping today, so we're gonna do abductions, and then I'm gonna superset that with a banded RDL, which is gonna mimic a cable RDL, so then I can show you how to do it at least. So this one I see people do a bunch of different ways. I don't think you get much glute engagement if you're up high. Okay, so I always sit real low and then drive with my glutes, with my booty. Another thing that's really personal is, like, some people like to eat before they work out, whereas others don't. So I like some sort of simple carb. So fruit, rice cakes, dates. Today I had apple cinnamon sourdough bread from Trader Joe's that I found yesterday. So just something like that to give me some good, quick energy for my workout. Other people like to work out fasted. I used to like to work out fasted, like in my 20s. Now I don't have the energy. I don't have power during my workout. So I got to eat something. And then I also get lightheaded. So that's also something that's personal. So you have to try different things, see what works for you. Like I said, no one size fits all. It takes time to figure that stuff out. We're gonna show you some banded RDLs now. We'll see if this works. It's kind of crammed over here. We might do it somewhere else. But we're gonna wrap our band around something. If you struggle with the hip hinge movement, band or cable RDLs are really helpful. So you're gonna get a nice stretch, feet shoulder distance apart. You're gonna let the band pull you over as you hinge your hips. And then you're gonna squeeze your glutes and stand up. Ooh, don't let the band pull you forward though. Stretch, up, stretch, and up. And I can really force myself to drive my hips back and keep my weight in my heels, and then stand up. Another thing that's personal is like figuring out what days you want to go to the gym and how many days a week. I think 4 days is a really good option. And I personally love working out on the weekends because you're not in a rush. You're not on a time crunch. The gym is usually a lot slower than during the week. Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean you like have to take a break. I don't think there's anything better, like a better feeling than going to the gym first thing Saturday morning and then having like your whole day left to do everything that you want to do. It's really great, actually. Okay, we're gonna finish with calf raises because I'm notorious at skipping them. And the gym is so busy today. It's like 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning and it's packed. So I think we're gonna do this and then be done for the day. We got a good amount of work in. So the reason I hate calf raises is because it's so hard to grow your calves. So for me, I feel like, what's the point? I've always had big upper legs, so I love training those. But calves, it just feels pointless. But my disproportionate legs are going to keep getting disproportionate because I don't train calves at all. And I prefer the standing calf over the seated because this seated just like puts too much pressure on my quads and it's like really uncomfortable. I don't know why I just did this weird thing to talk to you, but anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today. I just want you to realize that everyone's journey is different and you have to figure out what works for you. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good shit, and I'll see you guys next week for another video.